Okay, welcome tonight to my SAT math course. My name is Josh Weiner, and this is JW2542 tutoring. Tonight we'll be doing lesson 6, factoring quadratics. So thank you for joining me here. If you're watching this video, it's recording, which is also being live streamed on Twitch and will be posted as a collection of my YouTube channel. JSMWNYC. So just briefly about me, this is a free SAT math course that I personally wrote that has been evolving for the last 10 years. And at this point, I'd like to move forward with it to get published as I evolve the course into completely original material. And it's been hundreds and hundreds of hours of work. This course has been successful with many students at tutoring houses in New York City as an offered class. I'm offering it for free for my own benefit and development, and to take it to the next stage. If you'd like to, you can donate to this development of this class on Venmo, Josh Weiner 10. Of course, this is completely voluntary. I'm doing this because I myself had a very unusual life. I had left college and was a street juggler and musician, and survived for many, many years by donation only, thanks to the generous contributions of viewers like you. And instead of just taking that money and not doing anything with it, I completed my college degrees. So I completed a double major at City College of New York, funded by mostly street performing. 80% of my work as an artist was as a street performer and musician. And then I went to, after completing my undergrad work, I went to Columbia Teachers College for a master's degree in math education. So anyway, I thank everybody for their generous donations, which got me through many years here in New York City and around the country. And I did travel some to Europe and had some performances there. But the last 15 years, I've been focusing on math education. And let's get to lesson number 6. I'll tell you a little more about it at the end of this class. So this is an open and free class, and this is my first year doing it. My advertising has been very limited to YouTube, as well as Facebook groups, Reddit, Instagram. So what I'm planning to do is put a flyer together with my Wix and YouTube websites, and also canvass the public and private schools here in New York City, approaching principals and teachers to promote the course. But that is for another time. Tonight, as I mentioned, is lesson number 6. So let's begin. This lesson focuses on factoring quadratics. Here we go. Okay, so make sure this is working. So this is an introduction to the SAT math course. The SAT mathematics sessions of the SAT in its current form. Sections 3 and 4 are the math sections. And as you can see, the SAT math questions will focus on algebra, geometry, the coordinate plane, charts and graphs, probability and statistics, and a few other math topics. The digital SAT, which will begin next year, according to my teacher sources and work at the tutoring house Chang Learning Center in Brooklyn, I've been informed that it will, and from my readings, that it'll be 44 questions is the tentative new test, and that it will be easier. So, for example, we'll mostly focus on 9th and 10th grade math skills. There'll be very little from Algebra 2, and for example, any questions on complex numbers, there'll be no complex numbers on the standard SAT. So in the current form, however, it is 58 questions. So there's 25 questions in section 3, and you have 20 questions and 25 minutes to complete. And in section 4, there are 38 questions, and you have 55 minutes to complete. So it is a time test. For section 4, you're allowed to use a graphing calculator. And I, of course, recommend the Texas Instruments 84 plus CE. But although most of the students use that calculator, You can also use the Casio or other equivalent calculators with graphing capabilities. I would approach, if you do not have a calculator, approach my school. Speak with a math teacher, go to the math department, ask if they have test calculators that you can sign out. Sign a form saying you promise you'll bring it back in good condition. You just need it for a standardized test. Okay. You'd be surprised. Teachers really will do what they can to help you achieve your academic goals as you grow up. Just approach an educator, and any dedicated teacher will spend just a few minutes to make sure that you're prepared for a standardized test such as the SAT. As we look further at the SAT exam, when you have a big standardized test like this one, that's a cumulative review exam of mostly 9th and 10th grade math, remember that you need a checklist of skills based on the way the exam is written. So in tracking the exam and writing the course for tutoring houses, I wrote 28 lessons for the SAT, of which I will share 22 lessons this year online, which will be stored on my YouTube channel, which you can use for free at any time. Each lesson has a warm-up quiz, 25 practice classwork questions, and 25 homework questions, for a total of 55 math questions for you to practice on any of the 22 lessons as you get ready for the SAT. More importantly, working with a tutoring course or a tutoring or a personal tutor helps you get a checklist of skills. As you can see here, the first 10 lessons or so that I'll be sharing mostly focus on algebra. I focus on algebra word problems, linear equations, and manipulations with quadratics. Okay, and then other functions, and then it goes to geometry, a few topics on algebra 2, and that ends with charts and graphs. So when you're getting ready for the test, it's good to have a tutor or tutoring course that's organized in this way, because it reduces your anxiety, it helps you with your time management, it really helps you focus and see, hey, I'm pretty good at these branches of mathematics, but for example, maybe I should spend a few more hours in my prep doing geometry problems. Or you might say, oh, okay, we didn't do much in angle relationships with my teacher, or I should review the Pythagorean theorem, maybe do a few more problems. So by targeting your weak areas, you can get a better score on the SAT. Again, I'd like to welcome Isabel Disla Sanchez into the room. Tonight, we're all doing lesson 6 in my SAT math preparation course. So good evening. Can you hear me? Can you type 1 in chat if you can hear me? Hello. Yes, so welcome. My name's Josh, and this is a free SAT online class, and it's from my work at Columbia Teachers College, Columbia University Teachers College, as a math educator. I developed this course over the last 9 years, and what I'd like to share with you first is a basic strategy for getting a higher score on the SAT for any student. What grade are you in, Isabel? Are you a high school student or a college or a middle school student? Oh, so are you taking an SAT this year? Oh, yes, in December. Okay, very good. So tonight we'll be going over one topic from the list. Before we do that, I'd like to share with you just a couple of quick tips on how you can get a higher score in the SAT using a very practical strategy. If you look at this slide, you can see that the SAT sections are still arranged in the following way when you are in the math section. Section 3 has 20 questions. The first 15 are multiple choice, which I've highlighted in the blocks as constructed. The first 5 are generally easy level, the second 5 mid-level, and the most challenging problems are questions 11 to 15. Similarly, in section 4, the first 30 are multiple choice, and then the 8 grid-ins follow. But what students aren't often told by tutors is that the first 20 questions are easy to mid-level, And the challenge questions are mostly grouped in questions 21 to 30. Here you can see in the bottom row, 5 being the most difficult. Most of the level 4 and 5 questions are here, between questions 21 to 30. So as a practical way of getting a higher score in the SAT, since it's a timed test, you want to do the first 10 questions, try and get at least 8 to 10 out of 10, then skip the challenge level questions, do whatever grid-ins are easy for you. Note the time. Let's say of the 25 minutes, you have 12 minutes left. Then go back to question 11 and complete the challenge level block and any questions that you skipped. Similarly, in section 4, do the first 20 questions, skip the rest of the grid-ins, do any a multiple choice, do any of the grid-ins that are easy for you. Note the time, say of the 55 minutes, you have 22 minutes left. Then go back to question 21 and complete the challenge problems from 21 to 30. With this strategy, we found that students score, we've had over a 90% success rate at tutoring houses, the last 15 years of me personally teaching this, of if you do these questions 1 to 10 and 1 to 20 and any easy grid-ins first, you're doing 37 of the 58 total questions usually, which is enough to give you a base score between 500 and 600. So we've had over a 90% success rate with students of all levels of math ability of getting to the right half of the SAT mean score. So it is a normalized exam, which has 1 to 2 million data points from students who take the exam around nationwide. So the average score is given a rank of 500 points. And then using something from statistics called the sum of squares, the variance related. And so if you score 600, then you've gotten a few more correct. If you score a 700, you're 2 standard deviations above. And then a perfect 800 is 3 standard deviations above. Okay, so what colleges are interested in on standardized tests is students that are to the right of the mean value for the exam. So although standardized tests are not required as you get ready for college and as you get ready for December, you really want to perform in both ELA and math. You want at least a 500 score in ELA and at least a 500 score in math. Otherwise, I would not recommend including your SAT score in your college portfolio. You can use your school grades, any other standardized tests where the scores are higher, as well as essays and other personal stories, because colleges want to know if you're going to be a part of the community, but you really want to have a high score to show that you can perform on a timed standardized test. If you have difficulty with that, colleges know that as well, but there's no need to include it in your portfolio where you want to put your best foot forward. Working on the SAT, tonight we're going to do one of the first 10 algebra lessons. Almost half the exam is algebra. And our focus tonight, you need to know the following math skills in order to complete the problems. From 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, you need to know PEMDAS, or the order of operations. You need to be familiar with your teacher of linear and quadratic problems. Forms for linear equations such as y equals mx plus b, the slope-intercept form, or other forms. Also, adding and subtracting to equations, and systems of shortcuts. Tonight, we'll be focusing on the traditional methods for factoring quadratics, and they include ABC factoring, AC factoring, as well as front and back pair factoring. So we'll be reviewing the 3 most important methods for getting ready for the SAT. 95% of the questions on factoring quadratics can be solved with one of these 3 factoring techniques. They are 3 factoring techniques that were actually shared hundreds of years ago between the nations of even Europe and the Middle East. as folks traveled by ship and started to trade by ship all over the world, this is just 3 of the techniques from a list of perhaps 15 to 18 different factoring techniques that were shared among letters during the age of exploration. So when you're doing these math skills step by step, you're really a part of centuries of math history. And these are just important techniques just to be familiar with, whether or not you're going to major in math and science. Okay, so we'll be doing ABC factoring, AC factoring, and front and back pair factoring for quadratics. Before we begin, let's do a quick warm-up question. So Isabel, I'll put a question on the screen and take your time. I'll give you a couple minutes. Can you try and solve question number 11 as a quick warm-up? And then I'll show you how an SAT student working with a tutor can save time by using some shortcuts. So I'll give you 2 minutes. Can you give question number 11 and try on the screen, which is from an old SAT? All right, I'm going to mute and I'll reveal a solution in 2 minutes. All right, good luck. If you can type your answer in the chat window, if you're able to solve it. Just 30 more seconds on question number 11, 30 more seconds. Very good, Isabel. C is correct. All right, I'm going to stop here. Good. So you solved that in less than 2 minutes. Can you unmute? Would you mind unmuting and just explain how you were able to solve question number 11? What method did you use to solve this one?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Very good. Nice to meet you. How did you
Hi.
solve number 11 tonight? This is a SAT practice math.
Well, first I set up the problem as 5x equals 4.
5x.
Yeah, 5x equals 4. And then I placed 5 on the bottom of 4. I'm a little rusty with this, so I'm like not even remembering the phrasing. But
Yes,
I
fraction.
yes. And then I multiplied, if that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so that means that so x equals 4/5.
Yes.
And then how did you use that information? Because we wanted then this expression 10x plus 3. All right, so what do you do next?
I'm pretty positive that you would plug the obviously you would plug the fraction to x, and then from there you would multiply, and then so 10 times 4/5 equals 8, and then you would add 8 and 3.
Okay, 40/5 plus 3 is 8 plus 3.
Yes.
And you had the correct answer 11. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so that was choice C.
Yes.
So good job. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave your work on the screen over here. I'm going to erase on the left side just for a second. And no, actually, I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to share with you two methods that are called SAT shortcuts, which students use to solve the problem, which should make sense to you, that are time savers when you're doing a test like this. So on the left, you should see student number 1, and solution number 2 should be on the right. Here you can see on the left, it did the exact same thing that you did, Isabel. Subtract 6 from both sides, and now they have 5x equals 4. But the student saw ahead that, well, the expression we're going to evaluate is 10x. So just multiply both sides by 2. And then add 3. And they got the exact same answer that you did, but here I'll circle it like a little green marble, a little blue marble. They changed 5x to 10x, just double the right side as well. And that saves about 15 seconds because now you know 10x is 8. Add 3, and you're done. 8 plus 3 is 11. Got the same answer, choice C. All right, any questions on the shortcut from student number 1? Isabel, are you there? Nope. Okay, good. All right, just like you did, notice they started with the exact same set that you started with, but that can save 15 to 30 seconds in your math work. Student number 2 did something also that can save you time when you're doing standardized tests. They also saw that 5x is going to be transformed into 10x. So they thought, okay, I'm going to take the entire equation and multiply it by 2 as the first step. So here they did times 2 first, and then you have the entire equation, 10x plus 12 equals 20. Then for the next step, they're like, well, the writer wants me to have plus 3 in place, so we have to subtract 9. And lo and behold, 12 minus 9 is 3, and 20 minus 9 is 11. And you get the same correct answer, just like Isabel said, oh, it's definitely 11. You've earned your 10 points. You go on to the next question. Both of these students are using nice little time savers that really add up. So if you're doing your math work with a few shortcuts, you find that you have a lot more time for the challenge questions that are part of a math exam. Tonight, because we only have 90 minutes that I'm sharing here on the Columbia website, that's the only block of time that I have. I'd like to share with you now what we do in class at the tutoring house. For example, in Brooklyn at the Chang Learning Center, students walk into class or they're working remote and they get a sample quiz. So the sample quiz has 5 questions from the hundreds of SAT questions that we have. And it always starts with 2 easy level, 2 mid-level, and then 1 challenge level question. So tonight I'd like to share with you SAT quiz number 6. I'm going to exit the screen just for a second to put a link on in the chat window. I don't know if you can see this yet, but I'm going to refresh it with a new link here. This link might be different than the one that's on the screen you're going to see in a moment, but this is the link to SAT quiz number 6. So what we're going to do next in this brief presentation is if you click on that link, it should open up to a fresh Google form. And it should say, that's just my email at Columbia University. And you can try 5 practice questions for the SAT prep. And then your answers go below in the bubble sheet. Can you see if I overlay? Oh, good, if I overlay here. Okay. So you should, if you click on the blue form link, it should say SAT quiz number 6 and have 5 practice questions for you with the bubble sheet down below. So Isabel, would you like to participate and try quiz number 6 tonight? Get a pen and paper ready, and you can try them on your own. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start a timer here for 10 minutes. and we'll begin, and also mute, and I will see you in 10 minutes, and we'll review quiz number 6. It's 5 practice questions, 10 minutes total time. Isabel, you want to give it a try? Hello, are you still there? Okay, great. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm setting a timer, and we'll begin in just a couple of moments. And what I'll be doing is I'm just going to mute and I'll be off screen, just checking the answer keys to make sure all the paperwork's in order here on the teacher end. Okay, so good luck tonight on SAT quiz number 6. Please begin, and I'll see you in 10 minutes. So good luck, Isabel. Hello, Isabel. Welcome back. Have the timer going. There's 4 minutes left on tonight's practice quiz. Hope everything is well. If you'd like, just type in chat if you'd like an extra 2 minutes if you're having internet problems. But 4 minutes left on the timer. Can give you another 2 minutes if you like. Let's see. Sure. Okay. All right. It will be done. Okay, so 5 minutes starting now. Good luck.
Sorry, I'm having some technical issues with the Zoom. But I would still love to hear these problems explained, like my screen's being a bit glitchy. Uh,
Okay.
so would you still be able to go through them? I can see, or my screen isn't acting glitchy if I look on the separate document, but I'm worried it'll take me off the Zoom if I leave
Oh,
the
you
screen.
okay, so you can't do two apps at once? That's what you're saying? Yeah.
It's a bit my because I'm doing this on my phone because I'm generally having technical issues.
Okay.
Um, so, but I would still enjoy to go through the questions. So would we still be able to do that?
Yeah, sure. Do you have a laptop or a desktop?
I do, but my Zoom is also acting up on my computer.
Okay.
Um, so I can only join through my phone right now.
All right. So that means that you're toggling back and forth between the worksheet and the Zoom screen. Is that what you're doing on your?
Yes, but
Oh,
it seems like it's taking me out of the Zoom, and I'm trying not to have that happen.
can you? Okay. All right. Well, we'll go over the problems in just a moment, one at a time. There's just 1 more minute, and
Okay.
then I'll also post the links to the other links as well. All right, so just one more minute, and then
Okay.
I understand if you're having trouble switching back and forth. Yeah. Okay. Oh gosh. All right. All right, so that is time for SAT quiz number 6. So if you have the Google form and you are viewing it, or you can just write down your answers in your own notebook if you have a pen and paper. That's time for quiz number 6. So make sure you submit, and the school computer will auto grade it for you if you do these Google forms. So they've already been preset. Okay, so just enter your name and email, and if you click the blue submit button on the bottom, here, this button here, if you'd like an extra copy sent to your email, just click on this switch, and it'll also send you an extra full copy so that you can review the problems at your leisure next time you're going to study. Let's go back to the PowerPoint, and I'll quickly show you a method to solve each of the 5 problems from easy to mid-level to challenge level. Hello, hi, it's me. So I'm going to show you a method for each of the 5 problems in less than 2 minutes. That should be your goal, no matter if they're easy or mid or challenge level problems. So here we go. All right, as I said, this is a tutoring house, so we try and give you exam tips and shortcuts so you can do the math accurate and faster. So let's look at question number 1. Question number 1 reads, it's a word problem, but easy level. Anna buys bananas for her banner banana bread. She sells at a local bistro. Bananas cost 59 cents per pound, and she needs 2 pounds to make a loaf of bananas to make 1 loaf. Every day she makes 8 loaves of bread. How much is Anna's cost to make 5 days of banana bread? So I'm going to underline the question the writer is asking based on this baker, Anna, who's working very hard in the kitchen. And here we go. So it's 59 cents per pound, but you have to multiply that by 2 pounds, and that would be 1 loaf. But we're going to also multiply that by 8 because she makes 8 loaves of bread per day. So this would be the cost for 1 day. The writer, however, wants to know how much would it cost Anna to make 5 days of banana bread for her bistro. So we also have to multiply it by 5. So to make the problem easier, we're going to multiply the single digits together first. 2 times 5 is 10, times 8 is 80. And then we'll multiply that by 59 cents to find out the number of cents that it'll take for Anna to make her bread. The other thing we'll do is the more complicated number is 59. It's 2 different digits, and 80 is simpler, so we'll put it on the bottom when we stack them. So notice that when we're going with the solution, we're going to choose these numbers to multiply. All right, and now 0 times that first row will be zeros. We just put down a placeholder. 8 times 9 tens, put down the 2, carry the 7. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 7 is 47. And since the first row is just zeros, we have 4720 cents. To convert that to dollars, put a streamer down below with 2 places. I mean, like a streamer that a teacher hangs from, or a ribbon that they hang from the classroom ceiling. We have to move it 2 places. 1, 2 belongs there. The correct answer is A, $47.20. All right, Isabel, any questions on number 1? No, seems good. Hope you're still there. All right, 10 more seconds, and then I'm gonna just save the screen and put this as a screenshot and go on to the next one, okay? If you hear me clicking, I'm just saving a photo of the screen that we're sharing. All right, here we go. On to question number 2. A square lot has an area of 30 square meters. So this would be a square, and the area is 30 meters squared. What's the best estimate for the perimeter? Well, we would need the square root of 30. No questions. Great. Okay, here we go. We need the square root so that we can find the distance along the side lane. Here, I'll go project from this corner. Notice there are 4 equal sides to the square. So for this, I would use my graphing calculator. Just type in 30, raise it to the half power, and the square root is 5.477. So let me write that down quickly. So 5.477, and that would be on all 4 sides. So 4 times 5.48 is a faster way to save a little time. Put the 3-digit number on top, so we just have 1 row. 4 times 8 is 32. 16, 9, carry the 1. 20 plus 1 is 21. And a good estimate, because rounded here, right? So it's 2192, and the answer was B, like Bravo. So for this space here of the square lot, we would need a fence. We need material for the perimeter of 21.92 meters if we were to walk around it like a carousel or merry-go-round. If you were to walk, tour around it, it's 21.92 meters per lap. Any questions on number 2? Okay. No questions on you got your geometry vocabulary? Not an easy one if you don't, there's no picture drawn here. All right, question number 3, we're going to mid-level. And this question reads, a cruise ship uses 3.29 times 10 squared gallons of fuel to go from port A to port B. Then the cruise ship travels from port to port C and uses 7.14 more gallons of fuel. So we had some waters here, and we're traveling by ship from coastline to coastline, for example. Here's port A, then there's waters, here's city port B, here's location C. Then, as you can see, we want to know how many gallons will we need for the ship to complete both trips, going from A to B, and then for the ship to go from B to C. So writing this out, we have 3.29 times 10 squared and 7.14 times 10 squared. For most students in middle and high school, what you should do is move the decimal the number of places of the exponent. So since it's 2, we have to move the decimal 2 places. So this measurement and 2 places here, because it's in scientific notation. Rewriting it for you, Isabel, we'd have 329 gallons of fuel for the first trip. Maybe I can type it if this script is working. So 329 gallons. Then for the second trip, which was 7.14, 714 gallons. So we have to add the number of gallons together and adding and carrying. 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And 3 plus 7 is 10. So now we have a measurement in the thousands. Be careful, because for the last step, you know that we go to the end of the number, and to write it in science notation, we now have to move 3 places to the left. Which means that the new exponent, we've gotten to a new power level. We were at in the hundreds, but now our measurement is in the thousands. So we need an exponent of 3. So the correct answer is 10 to the third. And the only one written properly in scientific notation was choice C, 1.043 times 10 to the third power. The correct answer is C. All right, for question number 4 is next. I'm going to switch to that slide in 10 seconds. Please just type in chat if there's any step you'd like to review. For question 4 for you, Isabel, 3 consecutive numbers add up to 78. What is 3 times the largest of these 3 numbers? Well, the numbers are even. And since it's 78, I'm going to start at 20 and just write the numbers out like so. I'm going to just write it out. 20, the next even number is 22. The next even number for you, Isabella, would be 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, and so on. Since we want 3 in a row, let me put it this way. Well, if we start at 20 as the first number, then we have 20, 40, 60, plus whatever those ones digits are. So that won't be enough because we want to reach 78. Also, if we start with 30, then it'd be 30, 60, 90. Again, all I'm doing is I'm looking at a glance like, well, what would happen if it was these 3 in a row? It would be a number bigger than 60, but not equal to 70. Here, if we start at 30 and go with these 3 numbers in a row, it would be 90 something. So whatever the starting number is, 20 can't be the smallest number, and also 30 can't be the smallest number. So it has to be one of these numbers. So you could just adjust, right? Like this infinite storyline that we have here called our numbers, right? These numbers can go on forever and ever, like a never-ending storyline for you. But it's going to be either 22, 24, 26, or 28. Well, the way to solve it algebraically is we'll call the middle number x. We don't know where it is on the number line, but we'll call it variable x. Then the number that comes after it will be 2 more, because this is the even set. Every time we go up a number, we have to do a plus 2. So relative to x, the one sitting on the right is x plus 2. And similarly, whatever number it is, if we go to the left, well, that'll be minus 2 every time we go to the left. So whatever x is, we can represent the smallest number as x minus 2. All right, so this is the middle number, this is the smaller number, and this is the larger number. Now, the writer said, well, if you put them all together, they add up to 78. But if we add x minus 2 plus x plus 2, because we're coding it this way in algebra, put the x's together first, and we get 3x. And then the numbers are minus 2 plus 2, but they cancel each other. So we get 3x equals 78. And then x equals, well, 78 divided by 3, 2 times 6, 1, bring down the 8, and x is 26. So that means that winner, winner, chicken dinner is the is the old expression, means that we got the work done, 26, 28, and 24, we got it. And for this consecutive integer problem, right, a word problem that's fair game on the SAT, we know that the largest number is 28. But there's an extra step again. The writer on this mid-level question wants 3 times the largest. So we have to take 28 and multiply by 3. So a little bit more work to do. We carry that number, doing more side work. 28, 3 is the simpler number. Put that on the bottom. Carry 2, 84. And the correct answer was D. So a lot going on here in this explanation. You can guess and check. You can see 20 is no good because it's too small. The sum would be less than 78. 30 is too large. And it turned out that the 3 numbers that we need to have in a row, we needed 26 in the middle, 28, and 24. 24, 26, 68. Those 3 numbers add up to 78. And the correct answer was D. Okay, last one for tonight, so we can get to the classwork and the core lesson. It says glow art comes in 5 different colors. We have rosy red, marine blue, army green, clementine orange, and proud purple. If you can only pick 2 colors for an art project, how many unique color combinations are there? Well, I'm going to show you a way that you can solve it quickly and accurately using what's called the sample space. If you look at the sample space of combinations for small sets like this, you can see all the possible color combinations. And I'll do it like this. First, we have red, which can combine 5 different ways. Then we have blue. Then we have green. The next color was orange. And the last color was purple. For the second choice, we have to pick a different color. So, but however, I'll write out all of the color combinations like this. Red, blue, green, orange, purple. Then starting with blue, red, blue, green, orange, purple. Those are the 5 colors. The third color matched with one of the 5 colors. The fourth color, orange, matched with the 5 colors. And the 5th color matched with all 5 colors. This is the sample space of 25 combinations total. So if you have choices between, like, say, less than 10 items, you can quickly draw the sample space array or sample space rectangle and see all 25 combinations. We can immediately eliminate these ones here along the diagonal: red, red, blue, blue, green, green, orange, orange, and purple, purple, because you have to pick 2 different colors for the art project. Some students said it didn't say different, but that's what's implied by 2 different colors, 2 colors. So if you pick red and red again, that's not 2 different colors. So some students argued with me, and I said, yeah, it's poor writing, but just assume it's 2 different colors. So we're going to eliminate 5 of them immediately. Red, red can go, blue, blue, green, green, orange, orange, and purple, purple. Then notice that we have red combined with blue, red combined with green, red combined with orange, and red combined with purple. But what we're going to do next is we're going to see that blue combined with red is the same as red, blue. So we can cross off this one. However, blue can be combined with green, orange, and purple. Next, we see that, well, green red is here, and green blue is blue green. So we can eliminate these. This is a double count. However, we can keep green with orange and green with purple. And now we're done with all the combinations that begin with green. We go to orange. Orange, red, orange, blue, and orange, green have already happened in the previous columns. So we eliminate these up here as well. Notice that the upper triangle is being eliminated because we already have it in the previous rows. Orange, orange is the same color. So the only combination with orange that we haven't covered is orange, purple. And then going to the last column, we already have red, purple. So purple, red is a double count. We already have purple, blue. So that's a double count, purple, green, and purple, orange, which we can see here. Maybe it's better if I use the smaller arrow. This is a double count. This is a double count. You can see along diagonals better. That's a double count. That's a double count, and so on. And blue, purple, purple, blue. Green, purple, purple, green. So each of these ones above, these 10 are the same as these 10 down below. So there aren't 20 possible unique color combinations. 20 was the incorrect answer. And for this challenge problem, there are only 10 unique color combinations. This is a double count. We already have red, blue, so blue, red is the same. So we'd eliminate all of these here. As a double count. All right, so 10 was correct. All right, that's it for our exam review for the quiz. And looking at the time, we have to quickly go to the classwork. All right, I'll be posting this on YouTube, and I'll also send the links to your email. And yeah, the question sets you can go over. I do recommend that that you try to solve the easy level questions first, then the mid-level, and then the challenge level, Isabel. But thank you for spending some time with me and as you get ready for your SAT. You can feel free to email me at JW2542@gmail.com. And this is recorded at Columbia University and as well as shared on YouTube. So thanks for joining me tonight, Isabel. I hope you are enjoying your studies in high school. Thank you. Are you still there? Yeah, great. Isabel, have a great night. And okay, happy studying. Bye-bye. Okay, well, thank you, Isabel, for joining us tonight. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the core lesson here for lesson number 6, factoring quadratics. And we'll begin the 3 important techniques that you should know for your SAT exam. Okay, whether you're a hardworking student like Isabel or another student in a public or a private school, it's good to have an organized set of lessons so that you can perform better on these standardized tests and give yourself a leg up as you get ready for college. Looking at lesson 6, factoring quadratics. The SAT mathematics sections will present some quadratics that can be factored. Factoring skills taught in core high school lessons include the trinomial ABC factoring and 4-term front and back pair factoring. When presented in paragraph form, recognizing keywords is also very important. Several students have told me that the factoring lessons were difficult for them, and recognizing patterns of factor pairs is not their strong suit. So hang in there. It's a time saver to practice these methods for the SAT. If you are still unable to factor with these methods, using the quadratic formula is also another way to reach the same factored form. Example 1. Here we're going to factor a trinomial where the first term is x squared, or a equals 1. So looking at the quadratic, we have x squared minus 10x plus 18 equals -6. The first step is always to set it equal to 0 if it's an equation such as this. So we'll add 6 to both sides, and then we get x squared plus x squared, excuse me, minus 10x plus 24. Those will serve as our ABCs, which I'll put in here for you. A is 1, it's just not written. Negative 10 is B, and positive 24 is C. The way we solve for how to factor the quadratic is we take C and we find the factors of C equals 24, and we want them to add to B, and we want two integers that add to B equals negative 10. 24 is a long list. We have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, and so on. But since we want B to be negative, I'm just going to do the first 4 as candidates with the larger number as negative. Okay, we could continue with 6, 8, 10, 8, 12, and 24, but it's not necessary because you have to add them together. So 1 minus 24 is negative 23, so it's not that factor pair. 2 minus 12 is negative 10, and we have a winner, 2 and negative 12. So those precisely equal negative 10. So now we can set up the factor pair. We put up 2 parentheses. The first factor will be x plus 2, and the second factor will be x minus 10. And there we have the factored form for this trinomial, x squared. I'm sorry, that should be 12. X squared minus 10x plus 24. You can check this by even geometrically. We can use the following method. I'm going to put x plus 2 on one side and x minus 12 on the other, and we'll do FOIL this way. X plus 2, x minus 12, and then x times x is x squared. For this rectangle, x times 2 is 2x. X times negative 12 is negative 12x. And 2 times, wait, something's wrong. Oh, it's positive 24 because we'd have negative 24. I have to go back. They both have to be negative. All right, so that's right. So it should be negative 1 and negative 24. Let me erase this. We had the wrong factor pair. Well, it's good that we did FOIL to check. All right, so now negative 1 minus 24 is negative 25. Oh, good. All right, negative 2 minus 12 is negative 14. Negative 3, as they both have to be negative, so they multiply to a positive. Minus 8 is minus 11. And the fourth one, the fourth choice, negative 4 minus 6 is negative 10. And that's the factor pair. So now we have x minus 4, x minus 6. Checking with FOIL to make sure that that works. We have x minus 4 and x minus 6, excuse me. X times x is x squared. X times minus 4 is minus 4x. X times minus 6 is minus 6x. And negative 4 times negative 6 is plus 24. Highlighting it with these being positive and red being negative. And then grouping like terms, we have x squared minus, putting the 4 rectangles together, x squared minus 10x plus 24. So we have the right factor set. Then lastly, to find the actual numbers that we have to plug in, remember that you have to set each factor equal to 0. We want to know what x would work for the first factor, And what's the 0 for the second factor? So you solve those separately. So we set x minus 4 equal to 0 for to find the first factor, and x minus 6 equals 0 for the second factor. Here we add 4 to both sides, and x equals 4 is the first solution. And adding 6 to both sides, x equals 6 is the second solution. So the two solutions to this equation, x squared minus 10x plus 18 equals -6, will occur when x equals 4 and when x equals 6. For example, number 2, here we have a trinomial as well, but the squared term is not equal to 1. So for example, number 2, what are the solutions to 3x squared plus 10 equals -17x? Again, for the first step, we're going to set it up into a trinomial in standard form equal to 0. So adding 17x to both sides, we have 3x squared plus 17x plus 10 equals 0. Now we have our ABCs ready to be described. 3 for x squared, 17x, and 10 is our C value. So A is 3, B is 17, and C is 10. Here they're all positive. So when we do this method, the first step is to multiply A, which is not equal to 1, times C. And we get the following. AC equals 30. And we're going to make again a t-table. AC equals 30. And we wanted to add up to B equals 17. So we have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 does not divide 30, 5 and 6. And that's it, because the next one is 6, but that's the same. It's just if we use the commutative property, 6 times 5 is the same, 10 times 3, 15 times 2, and 30 times 1. Adding them together, 1 plus 30 is 31. So it's not the first pair. 2 plus 15 equals 17, and we have the right pair here. So we're going to use 2 and 15 for this trinomial, but in a different way. The way this method works is, what we're going to do is, we'll start with 3x squared, and we had 3x squared plus 17x plus 10 equals 0. And we're going to rewrite it as 3x squared plus 2x plus 15x plus 10 equals 0. So all we did was we found the correct ratio to share 17 of these 17, these little linear units in the middle. We're rewriting it in a clever way as 2 and 15, because then we can regroup the first two terms and the second two terms and factor those. For the first term, what we can do is we can factor out x, and we write it as x times 3x plus 2. And then for the back pair, 15x plus 10, we can move 5 out, and we also get 3x plus 2 as the factor. If you do this method correctly, what you'll see is we have a common factor here in place. The common factor is 3x plus 2 and 3x plus 2. And then the other binomial is created from the two greatest common factors, x plus 5. And we factored it fully. It's x plus 5 times 3x plus 2 equals 0. So this is the same trinomial as above that we were given. We started with 3x squared plus 17x plus 10 equals 0. And this is the same equation, but what have we done? Well, it was in standard form. And now we've rewritten it in factored form. Factored form is useful because we can find those exact moments when the function is equal to 0. And so we'll take each factor and set it equal to 0. We have x plus 5 equals 0. So subtracting 5 from both sides, x equals -5 is solution number 1. Take the second factor, 3x plus 2, and also set that equal to 0. The first step is to subtract 2, and 3x equals -2. Then dividing by 3, x equals -2/3. Let's pause for a second, and I'll highlight these in 2 different colors. Solution number 1, I'll highlight in green, x equals -5. That's the first solution to the equation. The second solution, that comes from the first factor. The second solution, 3x plus 2, is also set equal to 0. And then we get x equals, that will correct x equals -2/3. So the 2 solutions come from the 2 factors that we found when we did our AC factoring. So first solution, x equals -5. And solution number 2, x equals -2/3. Those are the 2 solutions to the given equation, 3x squared plus 10 equals -17x. The last method that you should be familiar with for the SAT are when we have, oh, sorry, did I do front and back pair factoring? Oh, I'm sorry, I changed the lesson so that it's just ABC factoring and AC factoring, I think. So next week we'll do, next week, and then word problems. Next week we will work on, on 4-term factoring and cubic factoring. That's right, I rewrote it. All right, so it's time now. We don't have to do we'll do 2 more factoring techniques next week. So now it is time for our lesson number 6 classwork. And here I have for you 25 practice problems on factoring quadratics, which are available on this link. So I'll leave this link active for you if you'd like to do the classwork. And also anyone who participates comes into the room, I'll make sure I share the forms for all of the quizzes and classwork, as the course is free online, offered by me, Josh Wiener, a graduate of Columbia Teachers College here in the United States. And the next thing we'll do is we'll do factoring quadratics even questions only, and put the link in the chat window. Here we go. And I have it here. It's 25 practice questions. Here, I'll overlay it so you can see it. And even though this link has a different code, I'll leave both links active so that you can use it. That's just, I share it in the community chat. All right, so 20 minutes of practice. Here we only do the even questions because of time. And then we have about 10 minutes to review and to wrap up the class. So please enjoy SAT classwork number 6. Even questions only, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And you see they begin with easy level questions, then mid-level, and challenge level questions, and then the grid-ins. All right, I will see you in 20 minutes. I'm starting the watch now. So good luck on SAT classwork number 6. Good luck. Okay, got to get organized. Here we go. All right, so that was 20 minutes practice, and now what we're going to do is I'm just going to refresh the slideshow here so that we can wrap up for tonight with a couple of examples. I'll try and go over some quick examples with easy, mid-end, challenge level problems from, this lesson focus on ABC factoring and AC factoring, lesson number 6. Please don't forget to return next week for advanced factoring, 2 more, just 4 total, where next week we'll go over front pair, back pair factoring, as well as the factoring of cubes of perfect, of sum and difference of perfect cubes. All right, going back to tonight's lesson, the first thing I'd like to do is share with you the solution set to the problems tonight. And you can see here that we always make sure that we give you the solutions to the classwork so that you have an extra copy from your notes when you're working with these printouts, and as well as because then you're also ready for the homework assignment, which is similar. Additionally, if you enroll in the course, I also have video support lessons for the challenge level problems. So if you're having difficulty with, say, the challenge block 16 to 20, you can find a support video which gives step-by-step solutions on how to solve each problem in less than 2 minutes. Let's wrap up for tonight, though. We'll just quickly read the answers to classwork 6. 1 was B, 2 was C, 3 was D, 4 was D, 5 was B, 6 was B, 7 was A, 8 was D, 9 was C, and 10 was B. 11 was D, 12 was B, 13 was B, 14 was B, and 15 was A. 16 was C, 17 was C, 18 was B, 19 was C, and 20 was A. 21 was 11, 22 was 13, 23 was 3/4, 24 was -4, and 25 was -4 upon 3. And easy level are the first 10, mid-level 11 to 15, and the challenge level are 16 to 20. And as if you read through, you saw that it's too easy, too mid, and a challenge level to end the worksheets as I have structured them for the course. Let's go over an easy level first. Again, it is lesson 6, so we're doing even problems only. And we'll go to question 4. Sure, why not? So what is the lesser solution to the ABC factoring x squared plus 7x minus 10? So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to multiply it first by -1. So -1 times -x squared plus 7x minus 10 equals 0. And then I'm rewriting it as x squared minus 7x plus 10 equals 0. Because then A equals 1, B equals -7, and C equals 10. So now I have my A equals 1 in place, and I can use ABC factoring. Okay, so that was the pre-step for this one, multiply by -1. So be careful, make sure you do that so that now multiplies to C is 10, and the target number is -7. So we set up a t-table, and C equals 10. So the possibility is for -7. That means 1 is positive and 1 is negative. So -7 is a large number. So 1 and -10, or perhaps 2 and -5. Am I saying that right? Wait. It's 10. So they both have to be negative. I said it wrong again. This is like the other example we did in the warm-up. They both have to be negative because negative times a negative is positive 10. Right? Because we have a negative value in the middle. Then lo and behold, the factor pair that makes sense here is -2 and -5. Because we'll have x minus 2 times x minus 5 equals 0. And we can check that with FOIL. In other words, we'll do x, distribute that first. X times x is x squared minus 5x. And then distributing the -2, we get minus 2x plus 10. And that will work out nicely. X squared minus 7x plus 10. So we have the right factor pair, x minus 2 and x minus 5. Remember, however, that for the solutions, Solution number one, you set this factor equal to 0. For solution number 2, we have to set the other factor equal to 0. So when x minus 2 equals 0, we get x equals 2, adding 2 to both sides. And then for the other solution, if the second factor equals 0, add 5 to both sides, and x equals 5 is the solution. So the lesser solution is between 2 and 5. 2, when we plug it into the original equation, will be the correct answer. Choice D for number 4. You can check it yourself. If you plug in 2, 2 squared is 4, -4 plus 14 minus 10. So -4 plus 14 minus 10. And you can see that that holds true. That's a plus 14 minus 4, and minus 10 is minus 14. So they balance out, and the net sum is 0. Last one for tonight, I'd like to go to the word problems because you can see the real elegance to some of these problems with, oh, wait, that's an odd number problem. I want you to do the sheeps and wolves. Can't do that. All right, let's do Devin's problem. That's not, that one's easy though. Number 20. But how's this quadratics? 8 by 10 inch photo. Customer wants a rectangular frame that will cover 120 square inches of wall space. The frame has the same amount of trim on all 4 sides. What is the width of the trim around the centered photo? Huh? Is that just 8 plus the same amount? 8 plus trim or t, 8 plus t times 10 plus t is 120. And we just have to solve it. Yes, here, let's write it out as a quadratic. Here, I'll draw it. All right, last one for tonight. We have an 8 by 10 photo like this. What we want to do is we want to make a picture frame that goes around it. Here, I'll make it a wood frame. So saying that we want the trim of the frame to be equally spaced around it. So the total area is 120. All right. And the frame has the same amount of trim on all 4 sides. So I'll highlight that in like a wood color using orange. So here's the same amount of trim on all 4 sides. So that means that this width is the same as this height here. Is the same on the right side. It's the same width. Same extra thickness is the same here. And these would be like little square pieces of wood. Right? For example, here's one design. But the trim is the same distance on all 4 sides. So we were given that this side is 8 and this side is 10. But the extra distance is t. I'll use lowercase t. The extra distance for the trim is t units below and above. So maybe if I do it like this, t and here t for the trim. And this is 10. So actually, maybe this is a little more complicated than I realized. Okay, hold on. So we have 10 plus 2t would be the new height of the picture frame, for example. And doing the same with the width, since the thickness of the trim is t units, and that will be spanning to the left and to the right. Sorry, I didn't draw the arrows. Oh, man. So to the left t units, going down t units, going up t units, and now we're going to the left and to the right. Okay, it's the same wall thickness of the frame. All right, so this was 8. Right? So now it's 8 plus 2t. Am I saying that right? 8 plus 2t times 10 plus 2t equals 120 area. Right? So the entire frame with the picture inside. Am I saying that right? I think so. 10, this is the height. And this is the width. Right? So then multiplying it out, we get 8 times 10 is 80. Plus 2, 8 times 2 is 16t. Plus 2 times 10 is 20t. Plus 4t squared equals 120 total, right? Cleaning up terms and putting it in degree order, we have 4t squared plus 36t plus 80 equals 120. Subtract 120 from both sides. We get 4t squared plus 36t minus 40 equals 0. Divide everything by 2. No, divide everything by 4. T squared plus 9t minus 10 equals 0. All right, so now we have A equals 1 situation. B equals 9. And C equals minus 10. So C equals minus 10 and B equals 9 is the target. So let's make a t-table for the possible integer solutions. Putting down the capital T here for this these values. So now we have, let's see, it's negative 10. So we want positive 9. So the larger number should be bigger, right? If we need a positive times a negative. 1, 2, 5, and 10. And then on the negative side, negative 10, negative 5, negative 2, negative 1, right? And we have, looks like the winner is the fourth choice. 10 minus 1 is 9. So that's the correct solution. And writing that in factor form, we have t plus 10 times t minus 1 equals 0. And for our two solutions, t equals, right, opposite side, we have to plug in minus 10 for the first factor, or t equals 1. The minus 10 is that extraneous, right? Like what do they call them? Lars and penates in Latin, like that extra root that doesn't exist because you can't have a negative distance. But t equals 1 is a legit solution. We want the trim to be exactly plus 1, positive. So a 1-inch trim would work, and we'd have an area of, yeah, that totally works, because if it's 1 inch, then the new width is 10 and the new height is 12. So we have the right picture frame dimensions. For the new frame would be 10 this way, and the height would be 12, which is 120 area. All right, so there's a basic word problem you can see on the SAT. I think there was a student or two who said, yeah, just I had time to draw it and one makes sense right away, or just think, oh yeah, as long as you realize it's trim on the left and the right, top and bottom. 10 by 12 should be the, if you had to do a plus 1 to the 8 and a plus 1 to the, am I saying that right? A plus 2 to the 8 and a plus 2 to the 10. So figured it out that way, and A is the trim. Okay, oh, just drew it with the trims in place and saw like the other ones are too big. There it is. All right, we need to stop for tonight because we're going over the 90-minute limit. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight, live on Columbia Teacher College Zoom for my account here as a graduate. My name is Josh, and wrapping things up tonight. You can check out my WIBS website on JW2542 wixsite.com. You can see parent praise. I've been tutoring for over 15 years for all of the tests. So SHSAT, Catholic school tests, cooperative tests, high school placement tests, PSAT, SAT, ACT, AP exams in math and science, chemistry, physics, statistics, and calculus, as well as college level courses and the graduate record exam. My students have received acceptance letters into the specialized high schools of New York City, have received Catholic school quarter, full, and half scholarships, quarter, half, and full scholarships, have been accepted into their college programs of choice, as well as graduate school, medical school, nursing school, and business school in the graduate level. So it's been an honor and an interesting journey, meeting various people at different levels of their education and going back and forth to be their personal tutor the last 15 years. And I still continue to enjoy doing this for math. You can see also some of my sample resume work here and sample lessons on the Wix site. If you'd like to hire me as your personal tutor, please just give me a call, leave a message, and I do have hours available as well to be an online tutor at your scheduled convenience. Here are the links to lesson number 6. Again, this course is free, and I encourage you to donate anything you like if you would like to Venmo Josh Wiener 10. I recommend $50 per lesson, but you don't have to donate anything at all, whatever you think it's worth. And the forms, of course, are free. This has been my my personal labor for about 10 years now, working on these math courses. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. And if you're watching the recording on Zoom or on Twitch, good luck with these worksheets. I'll leave the forms open. You can just email me at jsmw2542@gmail.com. And if you're a student that logged on, I'll just send you the files so that if these are extra worksheets that help you get ready and get your act together, get organized for this standardized assessment. It's very exciting. And if you feel like you're not organized, it's good to work with your teacher, your department, or a tutoring house or tutoring course if your family can afford it. And this is just me giving back to the community, giving thanks for my journey in life as a longtime performer, a street performer and musician over the years. So thank you so much. Anyway, that's it for tonight for lesson number 6. That's it. So this is my SAT course, and thank you again for joining me. My name is Josh Wiener here in New York, and happy studying. Again, you can just email me at jsmw2542@gmail.com if you would like access to the entire course, lessons 1 to 22, which will be shared week by week. And the forms are free to use, as well as the feedback and support videos. Again, this is a course in development for publication and for with the idea of having it as an original course, and it currently is in use in tutoring houses for students here in New York City. Thank you so much. Good night, and happy studying to you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks. Good night. It is next class, October 24th, 2023, Tuesday, same time, 7 p.m. Maybe I'll see you there. Thank you, and bye-bye.